If, in fact, President Trump gets his wish, as is his right under law, to appoint a new chair who will be more in line with his views, he said he thinks the interest rate really should be at 1% or even below that. Is that good for Bank of America? Is that good for the economy?
Well, let me make two things. One is you're absolutely right. In May of next year, the term of the current Fed chair ends after being reappointed, and it's the right of the elected president to appoint the next successor and go through Congress. And I think in that dialogue around that, there'll be a lot of dialogue about, okay, how do you set interest rates? What do you think about interest rates? Because the Fed is an independent agency, and they're meant to be outside the purview of the executive and the Congress. They are called to task, and they're monitored, and they're reviewed, and all the things. But the reality was set up to be independent so that our central bank in America was independent. So I think no matter who gets in, they're going to look at it and have to look at the facts and make a decision, because if you drop rates too far, inflation may kick up, and then you're going to have to raise them back quickly. On the other hand, if you think the prior Fed has been slow to lower rates, you might lower them faster. Our team believes that the Fed will lower rates in the second half of next year by 100 basis points. No change until then, because inflation is still going through the system. That brings the Fed funds rate down closer to 3, which they think is probably more of a long-term rate, and frankly is more similar to what we had for most of American history. What's been unusual is the period after global financial crisis, a very low interest rate structure. That is really not a good place to be, honestly. We'd rather have a higher interest rate structure, a little more inflation, a little more robust economic growth. So I think everybody has to be a little careful about keeping that engine going, because if this engine fails, the whole world fails.